The 3 best ways to impress people, Michael Schaefer.
This speech is intended to help me market a class that I teach called the Elevator Speech of Your Life. Do you know how to make a great first impression? Well, impressing people may not be the most important thing in the world until you really want to. So today I'd like to offer 3 great reminders of how to impress the right people when you want to. And the first reminder I call Talk the Talk. A friend of mine, Tom T., tall, Italian, speaks with his hands, comes from a long line of storytellers, and he seems to have this little kit bag at his side with dozens of really good stories. And he has actually shown me pictures of him with celebrities who's met for the very first time, arms around them, and the celebrity really seems to be charmed. It's not just that fake celebrity pose smile. I'm kind of jealous of it because, truth to be told, I did not start out as a good small talk person. In fact, if you meet me for the first time, within 2 minutes, I'm probably talking about the weather. It's true. But that's probably also why I joined Toastmasters, was to learn how to be good in different speaking situations. Like the time I was in a large, empty foyer of a castle with one other person in the room, while we were both waiting for our dates to get done in the powder room. We'd spent the day at a very posh celebrity wedding, very famous person. And I was standing there, just cooling my heels, next to Al Pacino. And as a would-be performer, the more time went by, the more I thought, I'm wasting an opportunity. So enough time went by, I would actually thought of something to say, so I said, Mr. Pacino, Bob Cicchini is a friend of mine. To which he said nothing and just gave me a blank stare. And I paused and I said, Bob Cicchini, he was in Godfather 3 with you. Still, no reaction. And then I said, well, I think he played one of your nephews. He was sitting on the Cadillac. He was the one that scratched the car with the key. And he gave me this kind of courtesy nod, like, oh. Then I was panicking. I didn't know what to say. So I just said, Bob says hi. And the only words Mr. Pacino spoke to me were, well, you tell Bob I said hi back. The moral of the first reminder, well, and it goes to pieces, of Talk the Talk is you've got to be prepared for those moments. Second reminder is walk the walk. This one takes a little more investment in your time, but I'm a firm believer in building your skill set. So if you want to impress people, become the person that's impressive. Learn your game. Become the go-to person, the person that people count on for results. The guy, the gal, the go-to person. And deliver. For me now as a speaker coach, what that means is finding out what my client really needs and then trying to deliver it for them. Like the time I was hired as a speaker to be an MC for a Family Feud mock presentation for a big trade show, an IT expo at Disney World. And literally, it was the scariest job I've ever done. With 15 minutes of rehearsal the night before and meeting the client for the very first time, the next day, I strode up onto this 60-foot stage, deep pile carpet, in front of 5,000 people to be a fake Richard Dawson or Bernie Mac hosting a Family Feud game. I had to interview 2 panels of 5 people, huge IT corporation executives and people from the United States government. I had a handheld mic, an earpiece in my ear with 2 people talking to me simultaneously saying, no, don't go over there, do this, here's the time for the slide. And then had to interview them, make it look like fun. And the software was being projected, you know, the screens that flipped over the answers, 20-foot tall projection screen. And the software didn't always work when the answers were supposed to turn over. So I was tap dancing and having a good time. And I remember that moment when I was interviewing one person, put the microphone in their face, and all they did was just watch this little trickle of sweat going down the side of my head. Obviously, luckily, thankfully, it was on the other side of the audience, so they didn't see it. But my face was 20 feet tall at that point. And it was a success. By the end, the people that hired me said it was the perfect combination of cheesiness and professionalism that we wanted. And my point in telling the story is that once I'd gone through that and built that fear and gone through it into my skill set, it's very hard to rattle me now in a lot of different rooms. It's something that you learn and build on. So learn your game, get good at it, and you'll be able to walk the walk. That's the first two. The last one is a combination. I call it talk the walk. And that's what you want to do to impress people as well. You want to be able to tell people about yourself. Don't sit in the dark. Don't be afraid to toot your own horn. If you had a restaurant that had really good food but no one knew about it, how would you put people in the seats? Right? In your own lives, you may have seen somebody at work who got a promotion that you didn't think deserved it. And you're like, there's such a political animal. Negative association with political. And sometimes some of us think, if I just do a good job, somebody will notice eventually. Okay, then don't be impressive. Fine. But I'm telling you, the third lesson is you've got to market yourself when it counts and when you want to. So because of my needs and because of my clients' needs, I developed this seminar called The Elevator Speech of Your Life. How in 60 seconds you can create a new template that I've designed, fill in your own answers, and customize it however you want to promote yourself, your job, or any cause that you believe in. And you can use this template for the rest of your life. So that if you're at a party and someone like Al Pacino in your world turns to you and says, "What do you do?" You can turn back to them and say, "Well, I'm a con man." Actually, what I mean is I'm a confidence man. My clients gain confidence in their public speaking because as a public speaking coach, I help them develop their own unique speaking style, not just somebody's cookie-cutter version of public speaking. And what sets me apart from other coaches is my breadth of experience in all forms of delivery, from stand-up comedy to speaking for people in front of the United Nations. So if you know anybody who needs that, tell them to call me. I'll give them a free half-hour consultation, and like it says on my business card, your presence is your profession. Oh, by the way, my name is Michael Schaefer. Mr. Toastmaster.